Thanks for joining us on an all-new episode of Pinal's People. We are out here at the Quick Clean Laundromat with our guests Barbara Sundust and Karen Ferguson. Together, the two help to oversee Laundry Love, a faith-based effort to help low-income families, members of the elderly community, and members of the homeless population here in Pinal County, and it's led by a coalition of local churches. Barbara, Karen, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Glad to be here.
So to get started, one of the questions, and of course I mentioned this a little bit off camera, but one of the questions we ask everybody to start off with is, for our audience members who aren't familiar with Laundry Love and the two of you and the work that you do, can you share a little bit about your background and the mission of Laundry Love and how it got started?
Okay, well, actually Karen will tell you a little bit about the beginning, because it actually started with Episcopal Church, and then Latter-day Saints and St. Anthony's were both in the beginning part of our Laundry Love service. And it's part of a national Laundry Love organization that just kind of oversees in general various people who do laundry for the unhoused and who can't afford to do their laundry. So we've been doing this. So, it's interesting to me how I got into this, because there's no way that I'm the kind of person who coordinates things, but that's sort of what I am. And it all happened because of COVID. When COVID happened, my husband had just passed recently, and so I was able to do it, and lots of other people couldn't. So one of the wonderful things about this Laundry Love is we never stopped doing it. Even through all those COVID months, we were able to do Laundry Love, and thank God for that. And we haven't stopped for 10 years. So maybe Karen, you can tell me a little bit about how it started.
There was a woman at our church, St. Peter's Episcopal. Her name is Tracy Rascone, and she wanted to put together an outreach committee. And our church is very, very small, 45 to 50 people there on a Sunday. Winter a little higher, but it's small. So a few of us got together, and she said, I wish we could do something for the unhomed people in Casa Grande. And she said, just do their laundry. So we started that, and we didn't really know how to go about this, how to focus. So I contacted Manny Bowler, who used to be the director of Pinal County United Way, and she suggested a voucher program, which we do to this day. We give out vouchers, and our clients bring vouchers in. And then she said, we really need more people involved in this. And as Barbara mentioned, Scott McEwen from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Deacon Bob Penson-Statler from St. Anthony's both said, we're on board. So then it became 3 churches, and then we expanded to 6 churches. So thanks to Tracy, we got started, and thanks from the expertise of people who had done community outreach before. And our little outreach group has grown from 3-4 people that we have 14 people just at St. Peter's, and then the other churches have brought in their groups. So it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
Well, the way Laundry Love works is that we give laundry. We don't do the laundry. They do the work. We do provide the soap and the money. And like Karen said, they need to have a voucher. They have a voucher most of the time, but we've done this for so long, we know lots of people now. But anyway, if they bring the voucher and we do the laundry for them, give them the soap and the money, and they do the laundry. So that's exactly how it works. And the churches, we each take a turn. So we do it twice a month, the second and the last Wednesday of the month. And each Wednesday a different church supplies the people and snacks and whatever else we need. And I do have to say that since we've started this has become an absolutely wonderful community affair. United Way produces our vouchers for us. The Elks make sure we have water. And then the 6 churches and generally volunteers. Salvation Army now is sending volunteers or offering volunteers. So this is a huge community effort that we're doing. And we get donations. The Ladies Elks has given us donations, so we get donations from all over the place. So it's really a wonderful community affair. But that's how it works, is that each church takes its Wednesday and then helps to do the laundry.
And it's 3 to 5 on 2 Wednesdays a month.
3 to 7.
3 to 7, 3 to 7. And it's very, very busy. I mean, it's people are used to this, and they are so appreciative, just incredibly appreciative of what we do for them.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it sounds like such a wonderful initiative, and one of the things that's so remarkable about it, I think, and it's such a testament to the work that all of you guys are doing as churches that have come together just to make it happen.
And very diverse churches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a remarkable testament to what a community can do if they come together. So for you two specifically, Karen and Barbara, what would you say inspired you to first get involved with the Laundry Love program?
Well, since it started at our church, and I have a background in social work, so an outreach program just sounded wonderful to me. And there were a lot of people who made me aware of the needs here. And doing laundry sounded like something that would be very easy to do and very helpful and provide dignity for people. So I was on board from the very beginning. It just sounded like a relatively easy and beneficial to so many people. And then we started out, it was just for the unhomed, and it has expanded now to low income, which a lot of our elderly folk are low income, and families. It's just wonderful to be able to provide that dignity. And my husband was a teacher in an inner city school in Kansas City, Missouri for years, and he saw firsthand how important it is for children to be clean and well dressed, and it just makes a difference in their lives and how they're treated.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barbara, what do you?
The Laundry Love motto is love, dignity, and detergent. And it started off, the two people who started it, they met a homeless man, and in that conversation, they talked about what a difference clean clothes makes to a person. So I don't think I really understood any of that when I started off this. It just, I'm a teacher, and so, I guess being a Christian is like, bottom line, the most important thing to me, to think about how Jesus would act, and how Jesus would care about these poor people, and how he walked among them. So I think that's what attracted me to this when we got involved. And I didn't know very much about the homeless situation or anything when we started. Now, it is just breaks my heart every time. The homeless people, the elderly women who are living in their cars. Nobody that's 65 years old should be living in a car and not have a place to stay and be comfortable. But in our situation, it's become, and just in the newspaper this morning, or yesterday's newspaper, the whole article from St. Vincent de Paul about how huge their population has grown. And so they're one of the people who give us vouchers. So I give them the vouchers. I give Seeds of Hope the vouchers. Casa Grande Elementary School District gets vouchers, and the CG Helps. They get the vouchers that they give out. So when I go to St. Vincent de Paul and give them the vouchers, always lots of people that use them. So yeah, but I think my involvement has just grown by leaps and bounds since I started doing this, and seeing the people in need. And just to give you an example, in May, we served 139 people. We did 796 loads of wash. This is in 2 days. And we spent, can I say the money?
Yeah, absolutely.
$2,533. And in April, we did 155 people in the month, and 808 loads of wash, $2,339. So this is just, and like Karen said in the beginning, it was like $300, $400,
Yes.
but it has just grown, just like the work at St. Vincent de Paul has grown over the years, so.
And I'm so glad you
Passionate.
brought your facts and figures with you because I was going to ask you and I was a little hesitant about that. But yeah, thank you so much. And so, Karen, you had kind of talked about, the background that your husband had being an inner city teacher. And I think, when we think about, being unhomed and homelessness, so often it's easy to think about like, bigger cities, of course, right? San Francisco, New York. But can you speak a little bit, because Pinal County is such a rural community. I mean, obviously we're a growing community and things are rapidly changing, but it's a rural community. Can you speak a little bit about why you think a program like Laundry Love has such a profound impact for a rural community?
Well, I think the impact is that we're sort of a stepping stone, because if someone can't be clean, they can't get a job. I mean, there are so many factors. There's being able to take a shower and put on clean clothes, and transportation, and having an address and a phone number, and all these things that goes into trying to find a job. So we are I think we're kind of down here on the basic stepping stone, that we do provide them clean clothes. And one thing that we have been able to do over the years, right now we don't have them, but we've been able to hand out socks. That is the primary thing that unhomed people ask for, is socks. So many don't have socks or underwear. And we've been able to do that in the past. Bombas Socks once gave us, 2,000 pairs of socks. Anytime somebody buys a pair of Bombas socks, they give away a pair for free. So we were able to do that through Deacon Bob Benson-Statler. He arranged that. So I think if we start there, we have to do, we'd all like to change the world. I would love to have a shelter for people to go, cooling centers, water available, food available 3 times a day. But we have to start somewhere. And I think this is sort of our starting point. Plus, it makes people feel better about themselves. I mean, when summertime, we're hot and tired and our clothes are dirty and we've been working outside or something, we go in, we take a shower, we put on clean clothes, we feel better.
Yeah.
We want them to have that dignity because they deserve it as much as anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barbara, what about for you? When you think about the impact that Laundry Love has for a rural community like Casa Grande, for you, what do you think that impact is?
Well, a little bit, I think, because there is not anything really right now, and just because we're small, and so we think about other things as far as cities or communities go, but there's nothing for those unhoused people. There's very little for them, and so this gives them a beginning place. This helps them. This and being able to get food, that helps them to have at least some dignity and get started. And they are so grateful. There's not a single time that the people that we serve do not say thank you and God bless you. And it really is. I mean, even in their need, they have this very spiritual sense. That this is some people who are helping them and making life better for them. And I think that it's helping on the bigger picture because we have, I've been involved, I've been going to the city council meetings and talking to them, and they're aware, and all this might help push them into doing something for hopefully a women's shelter or women's and men's shelter and a cooling place. And I think because we're making them aware and because they're conscious of the situation publicly, that we're going to make baby steps to move and get in that direction. So it's a starting point, I think, for hope for everybody.
And what do the two of you wish more people in our community knew about homelessness when it comes to Pinal specifically?
Well,
Go ahead.
I would say that I talk about Laundry Love all the time. Wherever I am, I talk about Laundry Love. And through that, people become aware and they give donations because they realize how fortunate they are and other people aren't so fortunate. And to kind of expand on what Barbara said of the gratitude, I mean, in the summertime, it's very hot in here. It's not comfortable. So nobody's comfortable. But we have had people come up to us and say, I'm so hot and sweaty, but can I give you a hug? It's like we're hot and sweaty too, so that would be wonderful. I mean, they are just so grateful to have a respite and to have a bottle of cold water and that kind of thing. I mean, it just makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. And from their standpoint, I think now, because we've done this for so long, and so especially the people that are there early, we start at 3, they're here at 2:30 getting ready. But it's a community. It's a community affair, and there's laughing, and it's all good. They take care of each other. They take it. We did have a situation where one of our patrons, she rides her bike. She lives over on French Street someplace. She rides her bike. People probably haven't seen her in the community, but she doesn't always eat, and so anyway, she was here and she was like passed out, like not passed out, but like that, like. And people, they bring her water. We set her outside. Everybody takes care of her until she has time to breathe and get some water, and then she's okay. And she doesn't get help from the she won't take it. But anyway, I mean, it's just a real community affair. Besides the fact that we're doing their laundry, it's a community affair.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I don't think we didn't mention the other churches, right?
Yeah,
Can
absolutely. Feel free.
So
Definitely.
St. Peter's and Latter-day Saints and St. Anthony's were the ones who started it, but right now Central Lutheran Church in Arizona City comes and does it, the Methodist Church and the Presbyterian Church. So they all take their turns in helping with this project.
And then you mentioned earlier also United Way prints the vouchers.
Yes.
And St. Peter de Paul, that's the other church.
St. Vincent de
St. Vincent de Paul.
St. Vincent de Paul, I mean, they do the vouchers, and Seeds of Hope does the vouchers, and they give out the vouchers. And Zeta from Elementary School District provides vouchers for families. And that's one thing that I would say we have seen in the last couple months anyways, is more families, single moms bring their people to do laundry for their kids. So more families and really more elderly women who, even if they live in an apartment, it's pretty hard to pay for an apartment and do laundry and eat food and pay bills. So they come.
Because
So that's-
laundry is just like anything else. It has gone up in price. It's gone up from where we started. It isn't just the number of people served, but it's the cost. So we feel very, very fortunate to get laundry soap from the National. That helps tremendously. And for every little, because some people will give me a $10 bill and say, I know this isn't much. It's like, it's a $10 machine. That's 6 loads of, you're paying for 6 loads of laundry. That's an enormous gift to us. And it really does help so many people. And it's just so interesting because when we're all in here so busy and one person will say, oh, your laundry's done, your dryer's done, do you need any help? And somebody will be putting laundry in and something falls on the floor, they just swoop in to help. I mean, they really are a community in themselves. And these are tremendously wonderful people.
You know, that's the one thing. I am not sure that in even a community this small, that we recognize that these people who are either homeless or like the elderly women living in their cars or not able to afford very much, or families, that these are people and that they have dignity. And so Laundry Love wants to supply that, but that's why we want to really help them to understand how important they are as people. I mean, they matter. even if they don't make a lot of money and don't live in nice houses and drive nice cars, they matter.
And a lot
And
of them
that's
are
what
working.
And so they're working, yeah. Yeah, so one time we were supposed to stop at 7. One time a gentleman came at like 6:45 with his laundry, but he just got out of work, so we never turn people away. Do we?
We try very hard
You don't do it.
unless we're gone when they show up. It's,
There's one other thing I did, there is, she's a pastor in a church, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it, her name is Pastor Cassie, and she has, over the last maybe year, she has brought sandwiches that she provides, a little sack lunch kind of thing for the Laundry Love people, for the people we serve. So that's another, that she found out about us, and so now that's what she does. And every time, before we start Laundry Love, I generally say a prayer, and when she brings the food, she generally says a prayer before they give out the sack lunches. So that's another. And then I have a lady from St. Anthony's who makes sure that we get dryer sheets. They come in the mail every, once a month. I get 3 boxes of dryer sheets from her. And the soap issue has become a little questionable. We were getting it free through Laundry Love, but I don't know what's happening, but it's not happening. So now, that's another way people can donate, is by soap pods or soap sheets. Those are the 2 things. So we're gonna have to start asking people for that, because it's not readily available right now.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, is how can people in our local community support this effort?
So that would, like, I would say money, of course, donations, and given to any one of the 6 churches, or to St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's holds the general fund, just because that's my church, so that's where to get the money. But money, of course, but soap pods, now we really need soap pods, and like snack things. I have another, Deacon Bob's wife, Monica, whenever she goes to some, like, Costco or someplace like that, she brings back snack things, like kind of healthy snacks, because, we don't want to eat just chips. So healthy snacks. But so those kinds of things help a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
and sometimes there's a need for volunteers. It gets a little, like, I would say at least half of our outreach group at St. Peter's are winter visitors. So then the population goes down a little bit. So sometimes, usually we can fill in from other churches, ask somebody from another church if they can spare a few hours for us. But if somebody has a need to volunteer, we always invite people to come, even for 10 minutes, and just see what it is, and see how it is a community effort. And one thing that Manny Ballard, the former United Way director, told me, that when she was the director, she tried to get this going in another city in Pinal County, and she could not get cooperation between churches. So the fact that we have 6 churches that have grown so close together, and we're such good friends with each other, and we work so well together, is sort of an anomaly. So I think that's very unique to Casa Grande, that we can kind of brag about the fact that we work so well together.
So we're talking about the benefits to the people that we serve, but like Karen said, I have grown so much as a Christian person because of the people that we serve and because of the people that I work with, all the different churches that I work with. I've grown, so I spent part of my Sunday at St. Anthony's and part of my Sunday at the Presbyterian Church, because it's just a Christian community, and that's what it's helped me grow, and I'm sure that all the other people who serve have that same experience. It helps us grow as Christian people.
We're the hands and feet of Jesus.
Yeah. Pastor Juan, lots of people might remember him. He used to say that we were Jesus in the marketplace, and that just touched my heart. So that's what I think. But I have to tell Sarah, you talk about volunteers. Somebody called me. I won't give any like details, but this person had to do community service. She was an elderly person, like a little younger than me, but she was an elderly person, and she had to do court-ordered community
Oh my
service.
goodness.
So okay, that I thought that was pretty hilarious in itself. But she came because it was a good place for her to do it. She had to do it like within a day. She had to get it done by Thursday, and this was Wednesday. So she came and she volunteered, and she loved it. And so now she's on my volunteer list. If I don't have anybody else, that if I don't have somebody from a church, I can call her and she'll come and do it. So that's a way that it's expanded our volunteer service to.
It's a feel-good experience.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, absolutely.
And when you talk about, what can people do? When we first started at Laundry Love, when we were sort of floundering all by ourselves, there was an article in the Dispatch, a little article about Laundry Love was starting, And there was a gentleman who did not go to St. Peter's, but he lives in California and he used to live in Casa Grande. And he thought it was such a wonderful thing to do for the people in his hometown that he sent St. Peter's a check for $1,000
Oh my goodness.
for Laundry Love.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a time when we were spending $350. We were doing it once every other month because that's to try to get money. And it was $350, and that included snacks.
Mm-hmm.
It was machines and snacks. So he kept us going for quite a while until we could expand it, and we were able to get the other churches on board. So you just don't know.
The more we talk, the more I start thinking about other people. So Rick Wilson, who he started out at Mesquite doing the recycling, and thank God for him. And
Yes.
then now he's at the middle school, and he does the recycling. I'm sure everybody knows that, the plastic, the tins and the cans. Well, every year he gives all the money that he gets from this recycling. He gives to different organizations. Last year was $2,000 that he gave to our Laundry Love, and this year we got the check, but I don't know how much it is. So it's probably around $2,000 again that he's giving to our Laundry Love organization. So again, one more community way that the more we talk, the more I realize how many different community people come in. And I got in the car with somebody on Tuesday because we had to go to a meeting together, and she handed me an envelope with $100 for Laundry Love. So, it just happens the more people know, the more they do.
And last summer, when we had that unexpected torrential rain, and we have so many people who have sleeping bags and blankets outside, and they were wet, of course. And it just so happened that we had just gotten a check from the Women of the Elks. So,
Well, and I asked St. Anthony's at 6:30 Mass for money too, for that time, for an extra, so we did an extra.
so we had $500. So called Barbara, we did an abbreviated, it was just for blankets and sleeping bags. And we spent $250 of that $500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't know, manna from heaven, that it just happened that we got that money, that extra money. So we were able to do an extra little abbreviated Laundry Love to help these people in a circumstance beyond their control.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, one of the things I would love to hear from the two of you as well is, and you guys have been touching on it a little bit of, some of the community moments that have really stuck with you. But when you think about this program and the people itself, and you were mentioning the people who show up and sort of come together as a community, when you think about your time in doing this, what have been some of the moments that have touched you guys the most?
Well, I would say that especially the couple times when one of our persons had a hard time as far as like kind of not passing out, but heat stroke and stuff, that all the people that came along and helped her, they helped put her stuff on, they did the laundry for her, because we were telling her, sit down, drink water, take a snack, and we'll take care of your clothes for you. They put it on her bicycle for her, strapped it all on, and she was on her way. So that's one time. But I mean, just like Karen said, they hug you every time. One of the ladies that comes, I just love some of these people, and she's always, when I park the car, she's there, and she gives me a big hug, and she's got the gorgeous smile, and she gives me a big hug every time. So it's, I mean, and then, well, I can tell another story. Okay, I'm not a Spanish speaker, and there was this little lady, and she was trying to do laundry, and I couldn't speak Spanish, and I said, I wanted to say soap, but I don't know. So I said sopa, and one of the guys who comes all the time, and he's got like 5 high school kids, and they come and he makes them do the laundry. Good for him. But anyway, he was on the other side, and he was laughing at me because I said sopa. And so now, whenever I see him, he did tell me the Spanish word, and we did get her onto laundry. But whenever I see him, and when he comes, he happened to be at Seeds Hope the other day. Sopa! So I'm sopa, and so is he. So I mean, it's a wonderful experience. They're really accomplished stories. Just Karen said, we've been doing this so long, and it's just accomplished stories.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful. One last question for the two of you. When you think about many, many years from now, when people look back on your legacy and what you've done for the community and what you've done with Laundry Love, and even think about the legacy of Laundry Love moving forward, what do you hope they remember most?
Okay, I think 2 things. First of all, I don't care if they remember me. If they remember that we provided this service and that it helped them along the way and it made them feel better for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's what I would pray for. The other thing I really would hope as time goes on is, like I talked about before, and that is that as a community we start to do something for them, that there are shelters for these women. And I mean, I know one, I've known her like for 5 or 6 years now. She lives in her car. She could work, but it's pretty hard for her to live in her car and work. And she did, the first time I met her, she worked. But she worked way on the other side underneath the railroad tracks place, and she had to walk there at night. So that's obviously not gonna work for very long. And so she would if she had a place to stay. So I think as a community and with the city council, we are working slowly to find something. That's what I would hope, that as Laundry Love is a beginning thing, that we would be able to do something for the homeless people and for the unhoused, and I don't know about for families. I pray that things change in the community, but that this is a beginning of a first step, just like the food pantries that are here and stuff, that this is a beginning to helping the community help these people get housed.
Yeah.
That would be what I would hope would happen.
That's beautiful. What about you, Karen?
Well, we know that there are always going to be low-income people, there are always going to be unhomed people, there are always going to be people with mental health challenges. So I think there's always going to be a need for Laundry Love. And my hope is that, okay, it's been going for 10 years. I would like it to keep going for 20 and 30 and 40 and 50, long after we are all gone. I would like it to still be an ongoing community benefit. Because even though, we pray that this would all go away, but it's not going to go away. Mm-hmm. So we want it to be a viable, somebody can say, well, years ago, these 6 churches started this, and they continued it, and look, we've grown to 10 churches, or we've grown to 15 churches now. We have a lot of churches in this town. I think I counted once, a few years ago, there were 75 churches of various sizes.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunity there to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just, nobody needs to remember our names. That's because if they remember our names, they need to remember the names of everybody who works Laundry Love. And there's a lot of people who work Laundry Love. So we're just 2 people who are sitting in front of you, but we're a microcosm of what Laundry Love is.
Like, I just don't worry about anything because I just see that this is God's work and so it's gonna turn out exactly the way it's supposed to because this is his work.
That's incredible. Karen, Barbara, thank you guys so much. Your story has been incredible, and I'm so glad and so thankful that you've come out and shared the story of Laundry Love, and you know the incredible things that these churches and community members are doing here. So thank you guys.
Thank you for having us, really.
And thank you for spreading it out to the community. The more people hear about it, the more they're going to want to be involved because it's just a great organization.